Good evening, Africa. Good evening, African Confessions. I am back with another episode. I want to share with you this message. Let us get into the program of the day. The message reads like this. Hello, African Confessions. My wife gave birth to a child, and when she gave birth to this child spoke in 2 days. It was only after 2 days when this boy was born and he spoke. Thank you, my brother. My story might be difficult to accept. Even when this story happened to me and my wife, it was also difficult to accept. Even now, we haven't accepted that this is what happened to us. But my brother Nashi, that is what happened. My brother, this child that I am telling you about is my third born. We are living in the villages. My brother, my wife was pregnant, and she was pregnant with our third born. It was sometime last year, and this child was born in May. So what happened is that when my wife fell pregnant, she started to have problems whilst she was pregnant. My wife suffered so much from that pregnancy, and she was sick. She almost died because of that pregnancy. We went to this certain white garment prophet. When we went there, that prophet prayed for me and my wife. So that prophet said to my wife, "Fear not, I see that you are carrying a boy child, but at the same time, I see in a vision that you are also carrying a tokoloshi in your womb. But fear not, because I am going to pray for you. Your problems will be solved." Brothers and sisters, when this baby was born, my wife was in pain, and it happened in the evening. So we didn't have any plans to go to the clinic because we live in a village and nobody has a car in our area. When I saw that this was the situation that my wife was in, seeing that she was already in labor, I ran towards my parents' house. When I arrived there, I told my mother, I told her that, "Mother, your daughter-in-law back home, she is not okay. Her labor has begun." But my brother, I don't even know what I should do. Should I ask my parents or should I just keep quiet? Because when I arrived at my parents' house, what I saw my parents doing, even today, I am still confused. Because when I arrived at my parents' house, I saw that my father was busy herding the cattle as they were grazing in the middle of the field, and it was almost midnight. And my mother, she was also doing something that surprised me. When I got into the house, I saw that my mother was busy cooking, but I don't know what she was cooking. I don't know what kind of a food she was cooking, and it was almost midnight. She just said to me that this is your father's favorite food. So I spoke with my mother. I said, "Mother, your daughter-in-law, she is not okay. She is in pain. Her labor has begun." And with the way that she was when I left her, I don't think that we will be able to walk with her to the clinic. If we try to walk with her to the clinic, I think that she will give birth whilst we are walking with her to the clinic. And you know that in this village there is no one who has a car, so we cannot go to the clinic on foot, and it is already late. My mother said it is okay. But what I wanted my mother to do, in our village there are some elderly women who know what to do if a woman is about to give birth. So I wanted my mother to go there so that we can go back to my house with those elderly women. But my mother refused. She said that, "I am going to take care of this. I'll make sure that my daughter-in-law is okay." So we went back to my house. As for my father, we just left him whilst he was busy tending to his cattle. But for me, it was the first time to see someone herding cattle in the middle of the night. But me and my mother, we went. Before we went back to my house, my mother said that she wants to take some of her food that she was cooking. So she took this wooden plate, then she poured something that looked like porridge. I never understood what kind of food she had been cooking. Then we went back to my house. When we arrived at my house, we found out that my wife was already in serious labor. She was having serious labor pains, and her water had just broken. After her water had broken, the baby followed. But the most surprising thing then happened. What happened is that when this baby cried, this child then cried with the voice of an adult. Ever since I was born, I have never heard of such a story. But my brother, this is what happened to me. The surprising thing is that it was as if this child was not crying. What would happen is that it was as if the voice was coming from the bed, the voice was coming from the floor, or maybe the voice was coming from the walls. We never understood where this voice was coming from. Then my mother said that, "Don't be afraid, my children, because this child has been blessed since he was in the womb. That is why he is showing these signs and wonders." My wife gave birth. Then after 2 days after my wife had given birth to this child, me and my wife, we were sleeping in our bedroom one night. We were just sleeping in bed as we were talking. Then outside, we heard that there was a huge movement. There was something that was making a big sound, and it seemed as if it was very big because the sound was so terrible. After that sound, then we heard that outside there was a cat now that was crying, but this cat was crying as if it was a human being. I tried to chase away that cat, but it cried even more. After that, our newborn baby started laughing, but the way that he was laughing, it was as if he was already an adult. When I heard that this newborn baby was laughing, I was so afraid, but out of fear, I shouted, "Who is laughing?" Then I switched on my torch. But after I had switched on my torch, there was a voice. I don't know from where it came from. It just said to me, "If a mysterious thing happens at night, just let it be. So why are you switching on your torch? Why do you want to see the mysterious things that happen at night?" When this voice spoke, my brother, me and my wife, we were so afraid. We started to pray. This thing of telling people that I don't pray, if you come across these things, I'm telling you that you will pray. Me and my wife, we started to speak in tongues because we were so afraid. The whole night, we just sat. We were afraid even to touch our baby. We were afraid even to sleep. This newborn baby, then he started to make some sounds as if he was a snake. Then he started to grind his teeth, but yet we knew that this is just a newborn baby without any teeth at all. But we could hear that this baby was grinding his teeth. It was so scary. Throughout the night, me and my wife, we just sat. We were so afraid. When the morning came, then this baby fell asleep, but he slept all day long. And whenever my wife would try to breastfeed him, this baby will just refuse. What is troubling me and my wife, my brother, is that the day that my wife gave birth to this baby, my mother took some of that stuff that I had found her cooking when she brought it to my house. She took some of that stuff, then she dropped some porridge on my baby, saying that this is what is going to protect this boy. I am so confused, my brother. I don't know what to do. When I saw that this is the situation that me and my wife are facing, I said to myself, let me do this in secret. Let me go back to that white garments prophet who had helped me and my wife when my wife was still pregnant. So as I was walking to his house, I saw that this prophet was busy talking with my father. Then my father gave him something. Then I just made a U-turn because I was afraid that my father maybe had bribed him, or maybe they were now working together. I never went back to that prophet again. My brother, when I look at my own life, my brothers and my sisters, they are all living in the city. It's only me that is staying in the village. So I have this other elder brother of mine. there's this other day when I went to my father. I wanted to ask him, Father, what do you think about this thing that has happened to me and my wife? What are you going to do about it? So after I had spoken with my father, I went back to my house. But when I arrived at my house, my wife told me that my elder brother had called and he was threatening me. My wife told me that my elder brother had said, "Are you trying to accuse our parents of witchcraft?" When I look at my sisters and my brothers, it is only me and my wife that is suffering. All of my brothers and my sisters, they are well up in life. So this elder brother of mine who called and threatened my wife, what he does is that whenever he comes to the village, he never comes to my house. He will only go and visit our parents and he will return to the city. This troubles me a lot. I just feel alone. I don't have anyone to cry to. Me and my wife, we are just stuck now and we don't know what else to do. As for now, she doesn't have any phone because I took her phone. I was afraid that maybe she will end up telling her parents all of these things that are happening to us. I am afraid that if she tells her parents, maybe she will then break up with me. My brother, if you know anyone who can help us, please help us. We are so afraid with these things that are happening to us. Dear listeners, right there was a translation of a message that I received. I hope that you understood it. Let us meet again in the following episodes.